1 minute away from physical separation.
Напоминаю, по фактической расстыковке секундомеры запустятся автоматически.
Just a quick reminder for you that at physical separation, the timers will start automatically. Copy?
Moments away from the springs on both sides of the docking interface to push off against one another to begin physical separation.
Copy. During the separation, please make sure there are no FOD around the perimeter of the docking interface. I copy. I will provide you a running commentary on that. Thank you.
Yes.
Undocking confirmed.
Separation.
On time at 8:34 p.m. Central Time, 9:34 p.m. Eastern Time, as the International Space Station flew 258 statute miles over the Mongolian-Chinese border.
Moving away in our small vehicle.
Rubins, Ryzhikov, and Kudzverchkov on their way home for a landing less than 3.5 hours from now.
The range is about 10 meters. And we have aggregate readiness of docking system. Four zero three is the exact time of undocking. We're not seeing any FOD around the perimeter of the docking interface. Copy.
Expedition 65 now officially underway aboard the International Space Station as the 3 crew members on the Soyuz MS-17 begin their trek home.
I can view the entire docking interface, and I can confirm the docking interface is clear of all FOD. The range between the station and the Soyuz vehicle is about 10 meters, and we still have aggregate readiness of the attitude control system.
And this view from Soyuz cameras.
Stand by for the first separation burn.
Showing the Soyuz's perspective, looking right back at the docking port on the Poisk module. Just seconds away from the first of 2 separation burns by the Soyuz vehicle. This will be an 8-second burn to increase its opening rate away from the orbital laboratory.
Depots started firing exactly 3 minutes after the undocking. 7.9 seconds of depot firing. Right now we are rolling to the left. The roll maneuver is complete. The range is currently about 30 meters. Standing by for the second sep burn.
Good thruster activity. First separation burn was right on the money. Standing by for the second.
We see the motion control system readiness. Yep, we confirm aggregate attitude control system readiness. In 5 seconds, stand by for the second SEP burn. Copy. Depots are on at 4 minutes 20 seconds after the physical separation. We are moving towards the U.S. segment of the station. 14.9 seconds.
And the second separation burn now complete and reported to be good. No issues. This view again from the Soyuz as it begins a faster opening rate away from the space station.
18.
Soyuz departure this evening coming amidst a period of activity in which 14 astronauts and cosmonauts are coming and going from the station in 4 different spacecraft over a 3-week period, in addition to 2 vehicle relocations, one by this very Soyuz MS-17 spacecraft back on March 19th, followed a few days later by the relocation of the Crew 1 Dragon vehicle.
The periscope to approach mode. And you can remove the maneuver flag. Copy. UV1 to address 11. Copy and confirm. Go ahead. We have maneuver.
It's gone.
Depots
Position closed.
are on. And we're monitoring via...
Yes, affirmative, you have a go to put the cover day into the closed position. Copy, I have a go.
Да, снимаем запрет контроля квитанции.
On your go, we'd like to remove the inhibit for command execution confirmation. You are go to do that. Use address 2. Enter the number. Entering. Inhibit of confirmation or acknowledgement of
multiple vehicles in the field of view. The Crew 1 Crew Dragon Resilience in the foreground. Right behind it, the Soyuz MS-17 departing, heading for a landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan at 11:56 p.m. Central.
Confirmed. Selecting. Go ahead and turn off SSFM. Docking mechanism. Copy. That's command D8. D8 has been fired. D7, D17 are not illuminated. Turning off the flight light. Flood light is turned off. And we're going to put the translation hand controller into the stowage or transportation position. Copy and concur, Sergey.
Разрешаем отключить телевидение.
The juxtaposition of the current space program and the future target, the crescent moon, nearby as the Soyuz continues to depart the neighborhood of the International Space Station.
Translational hand controller is in the transportation position. Copy. TVS display. I have armed the command to TV off, OFF. Ready to fire the command. Command has been fired and executed. TV is off. Copy.
Подскажите, когда вам доложили параметры СКДУ по 46
Please let us know when you'd like to get the SCADU parameters. You can give it to us now.
Давление шар-баллона в первой секции.
The first section pressure tank pressure is 162.
Шар-баллона второй
Copy. Section 2 pressure tank pressure is 164, and prop is 460. Copy.
Soyuz Commander Sergei Ryzhikov reporting fuel parameters and tank pressures to the Russian flight controllers in the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow.
The reduced pressure alarm, disconnection from control circuit.
Андрей 5 подготовлено, выдаем.
Command A5.
Good view of the Soyuz MS-17 with Rubens, Ryzhikov, and Kudzverchkov on board. 11 minutes now since the undocking of the Soyuz. Next stop, Kazakhstan.
Off. And the off nominal
GoPro 05-55-00.
off nominal situations RODF is restaged.
Через час выходим на связь.
Copy that. The next milestone is
Да. Ну, напоминаем вам, что у вас
at 05:55:00.
аккуратнее там с перемещениями.
Okay, so that means
Station
we'll see you in over an hour.
On space ground 1. For
Yes,
alert,
just make sure
on
that you
recording,
know,
downlink.
you remember that
Хорошо.
so you are in dynamic enabled mode on the vehicle, so be sensitive to that. And
Well, the three crew members aboard the Soyuz MS-17 have departed the International Space Station. The search and recovery forces and embedded NASA personnel have departed their hotel in Zhezkazgan, the staging site for tonight's landing operations. They'll be making their way to the Zhezkazgan airport to position themselves on their respective Russian Mi-8 helicopters, awaiting takeoff around the time of the deorbit burn, headed for the landing zone. This is Mission Control Houston. If you're just joining us, you're looking at the Soyuz MS-17 spacecraft that departed the International Space Station 14 minutes ago under the command of Russian cosmonaut Sergei Ryzhikov, accompanied by NASA's Kate Rubins and Russian cosmonaut Sergei Kudzverchkov. They are now free-flying from the station, moving to a point well away from the complex for the deorbit burn that will take place to begin their journey home. The deorbit burn scheduled at 11:01 p.m. Central Time tonight. The three crew members on board the Soyuz MS-17 will now have a bit of free time until a little over an hour from now, when they'll tag up with the Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center to receive a briefing on weather conditions in the landing area, the atmospheric pressure inputs for their control panel, and other checks of their systems prior to the time that they approach the deorbit burn. It should be a splendid Saturday morning for a landing in Kazakhstan, with, again, just a few clouds forecast at 25,000 feet, visibility in excess of 6 miles, and temperatures to greet the three crew members of about 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
The folder which would be better, or do you want me to put them into the generic one?
That's awesome.
Better a folder, yes. It will be called MS-17. MS-17, fantastic, thank you.
Now that the undocking has occurred, let's look forward to the deorbit burn that is planned for 11:01 p.m. Central Time, a 4-minute, 38-second retrograde braking maneuver to slow the Soyuz down, enabling it to drop out of orbit. Some 28.5 minutes later, the pyrotechnic separation of the three sections of the Soyuz, the crew in the center section called the descent module. With the heat shield in the direction of travel, the three crew members will have G-forces building up around them to about 3 or 4 Gs or so, their maximum G loads. About 15 minutes before touchdown, the command sequence is initiated to first deploy a large drogue chute, followed by an even larger main parachute. The Soyuz will cant into the right orientation, and just a few seconds before touchdown, soft landing engines at the base of the Soyuz will fire in a final braking maneuver, and the crew will be home on the steppe of Kazakhstan, with landing scheduled at 11:56 p.m. Central Time, 10:56 a.m. Kazakhstan time on Saturday morning. Once the landing occurs, the search and recovery forces will be touching down one by one in the Mi-8 helicopters that they will be boarding soon at the airport in Zhezkazgan for about a 35-minute flight from Zhezkazgan to the landing zone. Once the helos are on the ground, first off will be the erection of an inflatable medical tent nearby, where the 3 crew members will be carried into for initial medical tests shortly after they have a few minutes in comfortable chairs outside of the spacecraft once they're extracted one by one. The medical tests should take about an hour and a half or so, after which the 3 crew members will be brought into respective helicopters nearby for about a 2-hour and 15-minute flight to the staging city in Karaganda, where all of the various respective parties supporting landing tonight in Kazakhstan first began their meetings and reviews of landing conditions a few days ago. Once back in Karaganda, Kate Rubins will board a NASA aircraft for a flight back to Houston, while Ryzhikov and Kudzverchkov will board a Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center aircraft for a flight back to their training base in Star City, Russia, outside of Moscow.